So this morning I'm going to talk to you about carabiners, all the different, or some of the different types of carabiners on the market, and then some of their uses in high ropes courses, but also climbing and mountaineering, and just some of the pros and cons on that. So yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to start with D-shaped carabiners. So these can also be called or referred to as directional carabiners, and that's because if I put something in this corner, the carabiner will automatically direct it around so that it's in this top corner. That means the load is always running down the major axis here. Okay, so these are really good for clipping things together. So clipping like a sling into an anchor, or clipping like your belay loop into like a ground anchor. So it's going to hold that load in the correct direction really nicely. Not so good for traditional belay devices because there isn't a lot of room up here, all for knots, clove hitches. If you try to put an Italian hitch in this, it does have a tendency to flip and splay when you're trying to take it between like ascent and descent on an Italian hitch. If you do also use this on a traditional belay device and it does rotate, some of them have got quite a sharp angle on the bottom here. So they, in a traditional plate, like a bug, that can get stuck up in between and then make it impossible to give out or take in slack. That being said, sort of camming devices like a rig or like a gree-gree, so Petzl do recommend one of their D-shaped carabiners for the rig. And again, it's just going to hold the direction nice and well because it's clipped in. It's just going to keep that direction of force. So that's our D-shaped carabiners. I've got a couple of different styles of HMS carabiner here. So I've got screw gate carabiners, and then I've got some triple action ones. So in terms of our screw gate HMSs, we've got sort of two different sizes here. Okay, so I've got our standard sort of big HMS, the DMM boa. So this is really good for stacking knots, so like clove hitches or using an Italian hitch. Not so good for belaying. If you're lead belaying, it has a tendency to unweight and then either cross load, or again, the same as our D, that can get stuck up inside the belay plate. So not so good for that. Great with knots though. So if I get to like an anchor and I've used the rope to equalize and I need to clove hitch back to myself, I'll definitely use one of these. Our smaller HMS, so this is a Rhino. This is really good for belaying. It's really good for abseils because it's got a really wide top bar. It's going to distribute that heat from a long abseil. Same thing on an Italian hitch as well. It's got the little horn of the Rhino. So if you are using it with like a gree-gree, it can't move around, so it can't get into like a cross-loaded situation. And I use this on my guide plate as well. Which is really good for that. Another option to stop our cross-loading is something with a captive bar. So this is a DMM Belay Master. Petzl also make a model that's got a captive eye at the bottom, or a little captive bar, and so do loads of other manufacturers. So this just stops the cross-load. You can use it for belaying, you can use it for attaching people to ropes. So if you're working at a centre where you're just clipping people in, this is really good because I can leave the knot tied in at that end, and then I can just attach that to my person, either in their harness or like a bridge sling, and then I know it's not going to cross load, so super safe. And then we've got our triple action carabiners. So that just means it needs three motions to unlock it. So push up, a twist, and a pull back to open that. And then same thing here, triple action steel, big HMS carabiner. I use steel carabiners on all my accessing kit. So this one's from my Fall OS lanyards. So I can do it with one hand, which means I can clip that onto staples or cables really easily. Because it's triple action, once it's on, I can squeeze check it. I don't have to worry about screwing it up. And just the shape of the carabiner means it's really easy to get onto cables, eye bolts, staples, so it works really well for me. Just another point about steel carabiners, but quite a lot of our ropes courses have got steel ground anchors. So again, you want to be using a steel carabiner on that ground anchor. It's just going to prolong the life of it. And again, that's why I use this on my full rest lanyards, because it's running over steel cables quite a lot. So yeah, they just last longer. This is another type of carabiner. So this is our oval. So these can be used for belaying. As you'll see, the top and the bottom are the same, so it doesn't particularly matter if it rotates. So yeah, they can be used for belaying. Depending on the millimeter of your ropes, it can be quite snug if you've got 2 ropes in here and the belay device. We've got our quick draws. So these are just wire gate quick draws. You can get ones that have got a solid gate, so a bit like this. So again, there's just 2 different models. I prefer the wire gate. If you look at the diameter of the wire, when you open it, it gives you a bigger opening. If you're leading and trying to get a rope in there, you just got loads more room to work with this one. They weigh less as well, so if you're projecting big routes, or when you get to a certain age, every weight counts. If you're taking lots of kit, if you've got a whole rack in your bag, you could save a couple of kilograms. And quick draws is definitely worthwhile. Just something to make you aware of, our solid gate snap gates do have a tendency to vibrate open. So if you just have a listen, okay, now I'll do the same with the wire. So you can see the wire, you can hear the wire doesn't make a noise, and basically the solid gate, that is just the little spring in here, the vibration is just opening in it. So if you're on a climbing wall, all the time, that's just opening the carabiner. I've never known anyone to have an accident as a result of it, but it's just something to make you aware of. There is a chance. So the final carabiner I'm going to have a look at is just some specialized ones. So this is a revolver. So it's just got a built-in pulley wheel. So you can get a couple of these. There are a few on the market. And these are quite good if you're doing lots of ascending of ropes using a Jumar, and then putting a carabiner in the bottom to create a little pulley. You can use a carabiner that's already got that little pulley wheel in, and that's just going to give you a lot less friction and make it easier if you're hauling yourself up or kit around. It's just going to make your life a bit more enjoyable. I don't use the revolver. I find it really difficult to use actually, because the inside isn't very big, so you struggle to get things inside it. There are better versions on the market. It's just it's just to show you another option. So there are loads of carabiners on the market. We've just touched on a couple there. So your main shapes of D, HMS, oval, and then some of your wire and snap gates. It's really important that you know what job you want to do, and then you can pick the appropriate carabiner or the appropriate tool for that task as well. The manufacturers are really good at giving you guidance on what to use. For some belay devices, they will tell you what they want you to use, or they will recommend a specific type of carabiner. And also in some of our access kit, they will tell you what device to use, so what carabiner to use rather. So make sure you look at the instructions, manufacturer's recommendations, instructions, and pick the right carabiner to do the job that you want it to do, rather than just whatever you've got in the shed or the store. So yeah, thanks for watching, and check out some of our other videos, and yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments.